How is everybody? Are you all doing marvelously well? It's 11:04. 11:04 on Tuesday. Even before you said it hit the button, it already gone live. Look at that. We're trying to figure out how to time this live, because when it says it's gone live, it's already live. How are you all? Who is there? We have Nate, we have Matthew, we have Leslie, we have Mark, we have Tom, we have Sheila, we have Stick Studios, Chris Ibbotson, Leslie Pugh, CJ, Mike Spucks, Mark Becker, Peter Samuelson, Magnus, Blue Wave Dave, David, hello, Darko, URL Tom. How are you all? Yeah, we're big, bad, and back. I've got my trusty Fender Acoustasonic, which is just, I absolutely love. I'm having a great time enjoying it while everybody tells me you shouldn't. But I suppose I am a little contrary, to say the least. How are you all? Are you doing well? Are you keeping safe and healthy and happy? Are you all quarantined? Quarantine's really the wrong word. It sounds overly dramatic. Are you all at home? I don't even know if it's lockdown's even the right word, but are you, I suppose I'm saying, are you working from home, or are you at work, or what are you doing? How do I like that new Fender? I mean, I absolutely love it. It's super slinky, meaning it plays like an electric, but it sounds like an acoustic. I love guitars, acoustic guitars, or semi-hollows, or something like that, you know, feel, you know what I mean, that just have a beautiful feeling about them. So hibernating, yeah, I'm doing too much to hibernate, but I know what you mean. Maybe we just need to let you know when we see you live. Yeah, maybe. No, there's like the thing is there's like a 10-second delay, so sometimes you'll see me typing, responding, and then I look over and I watch myself typing, but I'm doing something else. So that's always probably a little confusing, because I'm responding to comments. Like if I respond to a comment now, I'm responding to, wait there, Trev says, here in the UK. So I'm going to go, hi, Trev. Oh, no, I messed up. One more time. Hi, Trev in the UK. And the E doesn't work on my keyboard very well. So that's the time delay. So you see it's already been up. So how long is that time delay? Like 10 seconds or something? Something like that. Maybe a little bit more. It varies. Yeah, I'm not getting any buffering here, and I'm watching it, by the way, Philip. So just so you guys and girls know, I'm watching what you're watching. Eric gets to see the screen and me, and he controls me and the screen and himself. Is there a camera on you? So you can talk to Eric. Yeah, exactly. You saw the text before I saw the text before I told you, or vice versa. Yeah, no, before I told you. But anyway, to cut a long story short, yes. So I don't have any buffering here, so I get to see what you're seeing. Look, there's Eric. There's the delay. Hey. Yeah, so apparently it's a 10 or 15 second delay. So when you see me typing, it's for the thing I typed 10 or 15 seconds beforehand. All right, all rather silly, all done in the best possible taste. Yeah, Eric's the puppet master. It's all about Eric. I'm just, in fact, actually, I don't actually exist. I am a pigment. A pigment of his imagination. That's my malapropism. What do Americans call it? You call it don't call it a malapropism. You call it spoonerism. Mrs. Malaprop. All good in England, says Mike. How is everybody? Are you all staying healthy? 70% alcohol, says Leslie Pugh. Yesterday's live stream invasion was crazy. Yeah, I don't want to be anything other than, I was going to say negative, but all of those bots were ended up talking about high passing and EQing and stuff like that. So it's another channel or something trying to invade because it was somebody using a bot that understood about mixing. So they all had SEX in their name, but then they started pretending that they were here. So that's quite sad, isn't it? That somebody's trying to invade our chat. But we have to look at it pretty heartening. Do they really feel like we're challenging them? I think, I was talking yesterday about that Gary V thing. I thought it was really interesting where he said 97% of online stuff is BS. And it's very true because, like I was saying yesterday in my little rant, and I really firmly believe this, every one of the YouTubers, especially the big ones, never answer questions and never do anything other than make a video. And they don't get involved in their community. They just kind of make a video and then, that's it. And they always say to me, Warren, why do you do all of that extra work, man? And everybody's always talking about the 6-hour work week. Do you know how many people have told me that? I mean, name all the famous YouTubers here and they'll all tell me about how they're so proud about the least amount of work for the most amount of money. And I suppose we all want to make a really good living. Of course we do. But that's not why we started this. We didn't start this to be cynical. Hence why we're trying to double up everything here. So anyway, that's enough of my little rant for the day. We'll let the professional YouTubers have their field day and get bot-tastic. But I'm very, very happy that we have such an incredible community here. And if anybody's new that just joined yesterday, if anybody was is new here, thank you for joining. If you're on the 30-day free trial, we try to do as many of these as possible. We do at least one a week on Fridays, and then we do once a month on Wednesdays, or twice a month on Wednesdays last month. And the live things are really what it's all about, because we get to either mix a song, like, what did we do last month? We mixed, what's her name? London Lawn. Andrew Boland's trying to be funny, but it gets blocked. It gets blocked though. But that was interesting. Anyway, so we did that with London Lawhand's track. And now we're going to carry on with the gallery Who's in Charge. I haven't listened since yesterday, so this will be quite revealing. I'm going to listen to how we left it off, so it's everything playing. Okay, great. Now, obviously, the first thing I did, which was pretty darn obvious, is I just started bringing down the low end on the kick. We were listening yesterday only to the drums until the very last about 1.5 minutes where I put the whole track in. And, yeah, kick was too big. But that's fine. It's exactly what you would expect, where you're spending too much time on one thing. You get fresh ears, you come in and you notice the things. Let's listen to the toms for a second, because we're going to try now. After this, what I'd like you to do is go to our new video and see what we did. So what I'm doing here, you guessed it. So I'm going back to the original toms without the tom trick. Okay? Because, in fact, actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's keep these as... Interesting. Let's see if I can get... I'm going to extend those a little bit. Okay, just going to extend these a little bit more. I didn't really get to listen to them much yesterday, and I can tell that need. You're going to see why in a second. Because after this, I'm going to go, and on the floor, I'm going to see if we can replicate this effect using the new plugin, which there is one of three copies. Did I say free? One of three copies you can win over on the other channel. Not the other channel, on YouTube. Sorry, just making sure these are good. Talk amongst yourselves. Make sure these are pretty clean. It's probably good enough. Let's have a listen. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to go to the floor tom. Here's the floor tom. Okay, so what do we have? This is going to be difficult. This is going to be a real challenge for it. The AIX DSP, multi-band gate. Yeah, it's really that simple. I can probably go in and spend a bit more time refining it, but even just setting up the threshold on the basic settings there. And then I'm going to turn up the low end. That's the new plugin. And you saw how long yesterday it took me to do all the toms and how much quicker it is now. So let's go to the front of the song. So what I'm doing here, now that means all those single hit toms are going to be perfect. Let's have a look at this one. But it probably means this section's going to need some work. This is always going to be a problem with a section like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help myself out and have a listen. This is very boring for those of you. So what I'm doing is I'm going to help myself out. I'm going to turn down a couple of little things and turn up everything else. So it hits the threshold a bit better. I have no problem doing this. This is much quicker than what I had to do before. So what I've done is I've taken these big chunks here and I'm turning them up with clip gain. You can do any kind of gaining you want. Now let's bring this on. Perfect. Whoa! Whoa! Nice. Very happy. Okay, so that's the new plugin. Pretty frickin' awesome. And that was obviously one of the most complicated kind of floor tom things I'm ever going to get to do with it. And what did it take me? About 4 minutes. But apart from that, it's frickin' awesome. And yeah, a lot less work than if I was trying to get Eric to bring out all the cymbal bleed. Because when you do that with the cymbal bleed, you have to put crossfades in and EQ out of it. All right, I think we're good on this for the time being. We could put a bit of verb on our toms maybe, and we could maybe exaggerate the, you know, the EQ on them. So let's do a quick bit of that. So we're going to make a tom sub here. So make that obviously 5 and 6. And I'm just going to grab an EQ. We're gonna let's Bob Clearmount in this. Let's keep it in context with the whole drum kit. So I think I'll just grab an REQ. Why not? The new fancy looking one. Yeah, it's good. Maybe come down here-ish. Go to about 350. Let's have a listen. We'll loop the section where they're both playing, which would make the most amount of sense, wouldn't it? I haven't tried that yet, Peter, but with the exception of that section there, which maybe took about 5 minutes to do, I've thought that this multiband gate was the easiest one I've used. Definitely for me, mixing. But I do like Isotope stuff, and I like the company a lot. They're great people. So I'm just going to copy this down. Okay, I've got it in stereo, so let's just let's think. What do I want to use? Why not? Let's have a quick listen to this.
Singing song.
I'm very tempted to see what this would sound like with a reverb on it. But you're going to see if I can copy this one over. I was hoping I could do some fake stereo. Okay, so I'm just going to grab another generic reverb. And okay, so I just shaped that. So now I'm using that as a mono reverb send. It's a mono room mic. It's that one that's a symbol, because I just feel like I'm trying to cut some of the low mids and the excessive low end that I'm not going to use yet. As you know, this was recorded through my old API, and it was mixed originally on a Neve 8058. So it has a lot of, everything about this has girth, has low mids and low end. Now I'm going to give a little bit of extra verbiage on the toms, just a little bit. So we'll go to 3 and 4. We'll come off of the tom sub itself. Oh, it looks like 3's being used as a mono send. So we'll go 7 and 8. We don't want to double send things. Okay. So we'll call this tom verb. Has everybody downloaded these tracks? Have you? Have you downloaded them all? Have you had a blast using them? I'm going to copy the EQ, believe it or not, and I'm going to copy this reverb send here. Listening to the toms only. Sometimes you just have to cheat. Shh. And I'm cheating here. What? What happened? Yes, I just copied a tom over. It doesn't have so much symbol in it. Who did that? What happened? I did. So I exaggerated. Exactly. I used the same EQ curve, so cutting more low mids and more low end. But I did boost a little bit of the low end into the reverb, so I'm going to take that down. So here, so I'm not going to get quite so exaggerated, but I did cut, and I'm going to increase the high pass here. And I did cut the low mids. So what I'm trying to do, I don't need so much low end. I don't want the reverb on the toms to be... So I'm bringing it up here. Okay, that's better. Because what I was hearing in that tom reverb was a little bit of build-up of low end, and we don't want that. Putting a little bit more schnizzle on the kick, just a tiny bit more aggression, and I'm going to change this out for an REQ6, just so I have a little bit more, you know, to deal with up here. I feel like there's some automation that's going to end up being done, but I also like the sloppiness of a lot of what is being played here. Kind of that the way that he's kind of sloppily hitting that snare drum is rather nice. Okay, let's do some bass. The final frontier. No, space. What? Huh? Yeah, you guessed it. He's playing with the pick. And insanely dynamic. He's either smacking it really hard like he did at the beginning, or completely barely playing. Let's keep listening. Here's the Sans amp. I used to print a Sans amp. Thanks, Andy. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Hi, Andy's family. A lot of low end in there. It's kind of cool. Bass mic. This would have been, I believe it was one of those cheaper Neumanns, like the TLM. I think it was a 103. And this is the bass speaker. So what this is an 18-inch speaker miking a 15-inch speaker. Cool. So basically, he's really, really dynamic. Even with compression, he's super dynamic. I'm going to start with the DI and see if we can, with this DI, see if we can get some low lows out of it. So we'll go to here, Let's low pass it round about 150. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. It's just overly dynamic. So we can high pass here as well, so we're not bringing up too many low lows. So now the DI is only going to be low end. Now let's grab some compression. I feel like I want to try, I want to try the RVox on this. I know that sounds silly because it adds a lot of body, but I also think it will clamp it harder. Okay, so that's what we need to figure out, this area here. Okay, so now it's quite aggressive. Yeah, it's very aggressive, but it's a good, consistent low end now. The RVox is quite fun for that. Now, I'm going to grab the REQ, bring it down, and this area here, I'm going to change this. Actually, it won't let me do it, so I'll come over here. We don't need much of this. Let's go to the bass mic, copy that EQ down. Okay, let's see if we can sort out this polarity a little better. So it looks fairly good, but not great. So we've got the DI here, needs to come back. We'll go into samples, say 129. So let's get time adjuster. Which is the furthest back, the bass speaker. So that is 215. So we'll make this 215. Okay. Get this one. It's about, we'll say 86. We're going to put it all in line with the bottom one. And then this one is 63. Now with the bass speaker, I have to decide what I'm going to use it for. He does some really nice melody notes that get lost quite often. Let's have a listen. And now there they are. Yes! No, those aren't opposite polarity, Darko. They're just also because I sent polarity tester down the cables. They're just the way the transients respond between the mic and the DI. If I flip that, you see how much closer this is here. It's like if I tried to flip it, trust me, it would really be quite horrible. But anyway, I'm happy with the sound, and this is one of the problems when you're going through tube amps and stuff like that. Is like they add so many additional harmonics that you can never quite get anything the same. But feel free to experiment. I remember once somebody gave me a track to mix, and they were really proud about the polarity on the bass, and I did end up flipping the polarity to get it. See, so for me, the best way to really think about this is you see where he's dug in here, for instance, there, and there all resemble one another. So if you try to go, well, okay, this one could be this one, it's just never going to match. But these are all infinitely closer and easier to do. But I know what you mean. Always double check. And sometimes, even when things, because they can never be exactly inverted or perfect or the same or whatever you want to say, because they're different sources and extra harmonics are added and different low end is coming out, all the different sources, sometimes what is actually counterintuitive can sound better. So feel free to experiment, Darko. If you want to try it doing it a different way and you get a great result, then that's all that matters. At the moment, I'm not going to group these. I'm going to leave that to the end. So I'm not going to subgroup these. I'm just going to leave them in, and now I'm going to start throwing guitars in. Let's have a listen to Brendan. Brendan was the singer. Now, it's a very ringy, it's actually a Pro Junior. I can't remember if it was my Telecaster, it may have been. I don't think it was, but it may have been my Les Paul, which is no longer as well. I seem to lose all my best guitars. Okay, so let's just, for schnitz and schniggles, take it up to about 150. So round there, it's pretty nice. If I bypass, so what we could do is we could go in here and reinforce that low a little bit. But again, I don't like that, so maybe what we do is we do the trick and go past it, pull it up. Tighten that Q a bit, bring it up a little bit here, tighten the Q more. I just want to make sure that low end is consistent. And if you can hear it there, if I take it out, I put it onto bypass, have a listen, there's a chord that suddenly gets fat and then it gets thin. But with the EQ booster, it stays the same. So have a listen in bypass, see if you can hear what I'm hearing. You hear it goes rum, rum, jangle, 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 rum, rum, jangle, jangle, jangle. Now listen to it with the boost and the cut at the same time, and they should feel more even in the low end. Hear what I'm hearing? So now that low end is consistent on every chord. And if we want to give it just a little bit more consistency, that's when a compressor would come in. Now that we have boosted the EQ there, now we can just do an SSL trick and just push back down a little bit. So love what it's doing there. Now we can, if we want, we could go and grab this as an EQ4 maybe, you know, a 4-band EQ, and just low pass, you know, get rid of some of the super highs. Why the heck not? So let's go over here. We can come here, maybe give us a little bit of bite up here. Why not? See, sometimes I would go in and pull some 2K down. I'll put this in the center for you so you can all hear it better. Now, Shay is the lead guitarist. Let's have a listen to him in solo for a second. In the center. As you can see, we went for full performances here. A lot of this was tracked live. For shits and schniggles, I'm going to pull the EQ down. It's who's in the right. Why do you keep putting who's in charge? I took them. No, the actual, you've called it. How did you get who's in charge? Where did you get that from? That's what's called an Ericism. Yeah. Save as. I don't know where you changed it from. Because look, the session's called who's in the right, the file. And then suddenly it became who's in charge. Maybe he was revolting against me. He's like, so who's in charge? I want everybody to know it's me, Eric. I'm just, remember, he's the puppet master. I'm just a puppet. It's not called Mandy, but you're talking about the band. And yes, they're definitely fans of the band. So like when I was working with Augustano, huge fans of the band. Yeah, he's definitely trying to tell me something, Mark. anarchy! Oh, it's breaking. Oh no! Quick! He's poisoning me. Thanks, Mark. So that's what we were doing. We were just getting that blend and that feel together between the guitars and the bass. And I think we've done it. I think they're great now. Now, we haven't got to the lead yet, but let's have a listen to the rhythm. Let's just listen for a minute. Listen down and make sure we're happy. Fantastic. So Styx doesn't think it sounds good. He says it almost sounds good. And he says that they're lame. Interesting. So Styx, in the best possible loving, supportive way, can you get us your mix tomorrow so we can critique it? I think what this academy is about being really, really supportive. If you're not happy with stuff, that's absolutely fine. And I'm not annoyed at all. I'm happy to refund you. It's really, really cool. So if you don't like the band, you don't like the mix, you don't think you're learning anything, it's totally cool. We're happy to refund you. Okay, but also at the same time, it's make it about helping each other. And if you do feel like you're much better and you've got something to show, then show us. Show us the mix. Tell us what you did that was different, and really help each other out. Because this is this is not something that anybody here does. Everybody here helps each other and comes forward and gives like criticisms and helps each other and all this kind of stuff. There's plenty of other online places where, people like trash talk each other and say that they're better. Nah, he said it was lame, and he also said it was almost sounds good. Or she, I don't know. But anyway, it's all good. I'm just happy. So can you find Styx's information? We're happy to refund you. Okay, fantastic. So the sheer lead guitar. We've had such an amazing community. We have such an amazing community here, and in 3,249, I don't think we have any. We've never had any of that kind of stuff before, because we're all here to learn and share. It's so fantastic. And in this time where we're at the moment, and so many people are at home, and a lot of people are afraid, and they Let's be honest, a lot of people are afraid at the moment, especially if they've got older relatives and stuff like this. This is a time to work harder, be supportive, and help each other out, not to be superior. And absolutely fine, absolutely fine that if it's not the place for you and you want to go in there and tell everybody off and be superior, that's great. There's so many great forums for that. We all know the ones to go. So, hey, Jerry. So, but, it's good. This is about being supportive and helping each other, especially in this particular time, which is why we're doubling down and working harder to help people. Okay, so Shay, guitar lead. Let's have a listen. So I really like his lead part there. It's just a really simple part. But we had some fun with the double and did some effects on it. Great. Here's the double with the effects on it. Now, I spent 10 days on pre-pro for the whole album. And I think it was about 10 days. Because first of all, we sat down with acoustic guitars and just worked on the basic songs and the arrangement. But then probably about a week, about 4 or 5 days in a rehearsal room working on all the drum parts. So when we started to record, it was like, it was more about recording and getting sounds. That's why I'm pretty happy with the drums and we wanted to do really not weird, but unusual guitar sounds. We weren't trying to make this like straightforward, virtual amps weren't a thing in those days, but nothing sort of too generic, I'm very tempted to mess this up a bit more. You're very kind, Andy. I'm glad you're enjoying it through the speakers. So I'm going to copy this EQ down here just for the heck of it, just as a starting place. I'm going to bypass it. That's not the What's interesting is this EQ is this guitar part is all about mid-range. So actually, I've done almost the opposite EQ in some ways because the 2K is coming up quite considerably. But let's do this. I don't know about you guys and girls, but I'm feeling like I don't know if I want to swash this in reverb on the guitars quite as much. You know what I mean? I feel like I want this to sort of be a little drier, like it is. When's the next day we're going on? Obviously, what are we? Tomorrow are we going on? What are we doing tomorrow? Sorry, everybody. I've got to talk to Bob about that. Good idea. But okay, so because obviously I want to hold some stuff back. I definitely want to hold the vocal stuff back. And to be honest, I don't always do vocals last. It's just what's happening here. I'm sort of deliberately working on guitars and bass, just so I can leave room for that moment to finish up, and also, frankly, to give myself an ear break, because I'm going to be on headphones now over an hour. So if we do at least another half an hour or an hour, that's like 2 hours on the headphones, you know. Yeah, we do the personal mix feedback days. I think, yeah, we just got to figure out what we might be filming still with Bob Horn tomorrow. We just got to find out. I'm going to call him in a little bit after we finish here. But yeah, more of these to come. So, what I was saying about this double here, about doing something more with it, I think what I'm going to do is apply, there's delays and reverbs on it, but I'm going to do another, you know, why the heck not? I'm just going to see what comes up. I just went for the default. Let's see what the default sounds like. Let's give Bob some love. I like that. I agree, Andrew. The rhythm guitars do sound good, dry. But I'm wondering if that's just that's literally just the default I just put on there. But I'm wondering whether we put like the super short room tone on it, just the tiniest, shortest one. I love the interplay though between those two guitars in the verses. They just sound so good, just the way cling cling cling. It's because they're playing, you know, like almost with their fingernails, just like kind of, you know what I mean? So it's like a you know what I mean? But I might still put a short reverb on it. But let's do it. We've got a couple more guitars to go in the organ. Oh, excuse me. Whoa, hey now. And then we'll come back for vocals with fresh ears. So here's the harmony guitar coming in. So I'm thinking what we do is we bring down that same reverb, so sorry, that same EQ, so it cuts in the same place. So there's already delay built into that. So I'm just going to whack a reverb on it. I'm not going to get too glamorous. Just going to put a deverb. I'm probably going to go to a plate. Okay, so in the verses, there's some fun stuff. And you can see what I did. So I copied down that same lead EQ and I put the reverb on it. So this would be the same as if I was feeding this through the console. There's some automation written into this. That's the reverse setting on the line 6. Remember the green line 6 delay? Okay, what am I doing? I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. Just a little bit. You know what I'm doing. Not making this exact. It's sort of in time with it. You know what I mean? Just so it feels a little bit random. having some fun. You know, it's nice to do that every now and then. Now, when you come to mix it, please, or if you're already doing it, try some fun stuff out. We've got a limited amount of tracks. It's very, very, very straightforward. Okay, so let's get to the organ. I'm going to solo it a second. Have a listen. That's a real organ, and it is Mr. Zachary. It's interesting. It sounds really good, and I'm trying to decide whether I keep it this clean. I'm going to go for something generic, like just the stock 1176 that comes with Pro Tools. I think a little bit of verb. We can try something. What can we try that's a little bit more interesting? No, it's already recorded with a Leslie on it, so I don't want to put a Leslie plug-in on a Leslie recording. Can you hear not hear the Leslie working? That's what I was thinking about saturation, whether to make it dirtier, but I'm just concerned that unfortunately is going to take away what's special about it. I did spend a long time getting the organ sound that I wanted, so I want to make sure that I'm keeping what's good about it. Thanks, Dick. I really appreciate that. Well, we're doing a little bit less is more. We're using EQs that just kind of boost and cut. We're going very generic on this and definitely trying to keep it really super analog, you're right. So I was doing some subtle volume swells there on the organ, just to kind of get it in. I'm really happy with this. I want to throw in the lead vocal, but I don't want to mix the vocals quite yet, because I want to mix the vocal and then do automation. But let's have a listen.
Sunny days and smiling faces, isn't that where we belong? Down a road only hope can take us, singing songs of peace and love, singing now. Heavy hearts, they won't escape us. We cross the line when it gets blurred. Why can't we, if God forgave us? A fight's a fight, we both feel burned. We'll drop bombs all day and night to show who's in the wrong and who's in the right. Who's in the wrong and who's in the right. Empty looks on empty faces, with something stolen from my soul, seeking gold in foreign places, never failed to sup its store. Once again we raise our voices, give us what we're looking for. The world's a product of our choices. Will we choose to stop this war? We'll drop bombs all day and night to show who's in the wrong and who's in the right. Who's in the wrong and who's in the right? We'll drop bombs all day and night till the other one's down and out of sight. Seems we can't move on without a fight. Singing now, who's in the wrong and who's in the right? Who's in the wrong and who's in the right? Who's in the wrong and who's in the right? Who's in the wrong and who's in the right?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Now, obviously, things like that lead guitar are going to be completely dependent on how we mix the vocals, because there I'm thinking come up louder, but we've got to get the support of the backgrounds that come in there. I'm really happy with this. I want to take an ear break, and I want to come back and mix the vocals, the lead and the background, and then maybe there's a fourth day where we do all the automation. We might be able to cover the automation with at the same time as the vocals, but technically speaking, I like to take at least half an hour, 20 minutes between stuff, sometimes longer, so that I can come back with fresh ears and really kind of nail this. Absolutely fantastic work. I'm really really, really impressed. You know, you have been so helpful to us. I love your comments and suggestions. So thank you, everybody who's super positive, really, really cares about each other in this community. I know that we're going through interesting times, to say the least. So this is a great time to really kind of look after each other, be supportive, be positive, help each other. So I'm really impressed with you all. Thank you ever so much for everybody that gets that and understands that this is a wonderful community of like-minded people who really care about each other. You rock. I don't know, maybe we'll be back on Wednesday. We're trying to figure out the Bob Horn filming. If not, we will be back sooner rather than later. We're doing a live stream on Thursday with Mr. Brad Wood, so we'll talk recording and production then. So look forward to that. Friday we'll be back with Feedback Friday, and maybe on Saturday we'll do some more of this. I don't know. Maybe that's what we do. What do you think, Eric? Sure. But he's like, sure. But we'll definitely see you regardless, either tomorrow, definitely Friday, and possibly and probably Saturday. So you're going to get really sick of us, or at least sick of me. You don't get to see much of him. He was taking a nap. I just woke him up. Thanks, everyone, for being so supportive. It's a very interesting time that we're going through, so thank you all. It's really great you come here positive and help each other out, and yeah, absolutely love it. Thank you. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and stay safe, stay healthy, and I'm wishing you all the best.